So, what's the deal, man? Why are you here?
Um, I'm pretty low MMR, but
What is
I'm
low?
just like 1700, 1800 or something.
Nice. Okay, okay.
Nice and low. Um, yeah, I've pretty much always played like I only ever play with my mates. Like I don't really play just for me type of
Okay.
thing.
With
Like
the
it's more like a
mates.
social thing. Yeah, but lately I've like we've been doing like the battle cups and stuff, and I've been doing a bit of solo. Like enough. I only just got ranked this this, see, like about 2 weeks ago, sort of thing.
Okay, so
But
you're
I've
aware that we don't appreciate casuals on the stream, right?
never. True,
I'm
really?
I'm just
Okay.
I'm just kidding, man.
Yeah, yeah. Now, like,
Uh,
so I'm just, yeah, I'm just wanting, yeah, just wanting to get a bit better and yeah,
yeah, cool, man.
coaching.
So I just emphasize again, like I don't mind whatever your MMR is when you sign up. It's just the
Yep,
lower MMR we go. I try to be more general about things. Like
yep,
I can't give
yeah, cool.
specifics because that's just how it is. So,
Yep.
well, if you did you see my last session at all or no?
Nah, sorry, I was just
Okay.
playing a game.
No, yeah, good job, man. Keep it up. So basically, the way it works is like I'm just gonna try to give you things to think about, things to make
Yeah,
sure you do every single game because there's just fundamentals in Dota. So the lower you go down
yeah,
in
cool.
MMR, the less fundamentals you do, basically.
Yep, yeah,
Generally, when I go down to like 2Ks and 1Ks, it kind of is like
mm-hmm.
you all have a smorgasbord of problems, but they're all different problems.
Yep,
So,
yep,
I actually think there's a lot to learn for people that are like 3K, 4K. If you have any friends or like people
mm-hmm.
watching, because
Yeah,
people are making the same errors. You just may make more errors than the guy that's 3K. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
like maybe only half of the stuff that I'm telling you applies to that person. But
yeah,
last time I
nice.
did a 1.8K session, I specifically remember people really appreciating it. So I
Mm.
hope there's a lot for us to teach you here, a lot to learn from. So what role do you play?
So, pause 5.
Pos 5. Damn.
Yeah,
Okay.
man.
Support 5 position. Okay.
Yeah.
I like support sessions because generally speaking, I consider my supports in my bracket clueless. So I like to see even
Yeah,
more
nice.
cluelessness. Okay. So what do you have your replays in mind?
I didn't, just because it was like a smidgen early. I was gonna have a bit of a scan through, but
Okay.
I don't care whatever you do. Like I've got a couple. Like obviously, I've got some games where we played well, and I think like I would have done stuff better. Like pulling and all that sort of stuff in the laning phase.
Okay.
But I don't think that's going to be that advantageous, probably, to show you that replay. So maybe just do the last one.
Okay.
Even though we won, it was like a tough lane where, like for me anyway, like
Yeah,
where
wins are fine. I don't mind wins. Like usually close wins are sometimes the best games because it usually
yeah,
means they messed up a couple times, but like not enough to
yeah,
lose the game. So we can talk about
yeah,
things that would have made it better. So
yeah. So do I need to send you the
yeah, just
match
copy
ID?
paste me the game ID
Uh,
and in Discord.
Yeah, sweet.
Cool. If you screen share, you can choose to watch through stream or through this, whatever, stream's going to be on a few second delay, but whatever you
Oh
prefer,
no.
because it'll be better quality on the
Yeah.
stream, but it's up to you.
Okay. That's good. I got the Discord.
Okay, so who are you here?
Dazzle in the
That's
front.
all. Okay,
Dazzle.
sorry.
It's all good. I've been propping him, eh? He's fun.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's one of my more enjoyable support heroes. So
Yeah.
I personally can only really play supports that clear waves, unless it's
Yeah.
Disruptor. That's pretty much the only
Yeah.
heroes I enjoy playing, are clear waves or Disruptor. Let's
Yeah.
check out
Nice.
your. Let's check it out here. Okay, fine with the items. Oh, the ward mid. This is already a step up from my supports.
Yeah. I didn't smoke though, but
I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
yeah.
So you're against Bristleback, potentially like Grimstroke. So immediately as a support, whenever I'm making these plays, just try to think
Yeah.
about how they kill you. So like,
Yeah.
I was a little scared for you to make this play just because I see like Nyx and Sven missing, and we really want to
Yeah.
try to avoid randomly feeding. So
Yeah.
just do your best to always in the beginning of the game think like if all of the heroes that could kill me are right here. Do they kill me? And if the answer is yes, then you can't do this. Like, I'd say you're a little bit out of position right now, because if Sven and Nyx are right here, you're just gonna die.
Yeah.
So just be careful about that. Something to consider.
Yeah.
I kind of would rather you be overly aggressive than a pussy, so I guess that's okay.
Yeah.
It looks like
I'm always up there, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, usually people are a little too scared, so we're actually going to get... Okay,
No, it was
that's
so
fine.
close.
Still
I reckon
worth,
he got
though. I
down
think
like
that's still
2
worth.
health.
Good plays, pre-run. Oh, what are you doing here? Why are you hitting that?
I don't even know.
Okay.
I know I'm not meant to. Like, I don't normally do that.
Okay, got
I think I was trying to get it low for him to get the balance in the lane. Like,
Okay, I got you. It was balanced, that's why I asked. So if you're trying to get it low for the balance, like it already was, so... I actually think you're playing this lane really well so far, so I'm going to keep fast-forwarding. You're playing on the side of the lane. You need to buy a stick, maybe. This pole's fine. Why do you think this pole's fine? Just, it's good if you can validate it for me.
So the reason I did the pull, because it was balanced, but I just thought it's such a tough lane, I'm not going to be able to get into lane. And I just thought I could pull it, get a couple of levels for me, and just deny them experience. Like, because they're going to have 2 up in his face. Yeah, so deny them experience, and yeah.
So the way I look at this is you're not really denying them experience, because I don't really like chain pulling this, okay? The reason why I don't like chain pulling this is your Slark's going to be stuck under tower, so you're stuck solo contesting them, and Bristle will probably just be able to farm the wave and the camp.
Yeah.
So the one thing I don't like about your pull is that I generally like pulls that are single pulls at 15 seconds rather than at the 45-second mark. So the reason why this is if you do it at the 15-second mark, the wave kills it, it dies at 30, and then the creeps respawn 30 seconds later. But with you doing it this way, it's going to respawn like 50 seconds later, right?
Yeah.
So, and I don't like chain pulling for the exact reasons I just said. Chain pulling can be better when your Slark's like level 5, and he can like walk through the creeps and help you fight them, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But at this early on, creeps are really powerful, right? So we just got to be wary that Slark won't be able to help us at all. And I think that you pulling this could be punishable by better players. So I just try to avoid mistakes that could be punishable, even though you're in the low 2K bracket or whatever. So that's my thought real quick. And since you're not, when you're single pulling, you're not really denying XP. You're dying like 1 creep, which is fine. But more importantly, you're getting yourself some gold. Like neutral creeps actually give a decent amount of gold. And then you're giving your Slark solo XP in a lane, like you said, it feels a little bit tough to enter it. The lane's underneath your own tower. And if you pulled it at the 15-second mark, then what that does for you is you can pull it again 30 seconds later. But now you're kind of stuck in a weird spot where the lane's going to push out, or you're going to be stuck with this, which I think, like, this is not that great, like, because Bristleback just does this. Exactly.
Yeah.
This is what I meant. We don't want that happening, really. If he's smart, he would actually sit there farming that camp. What's his build on Bristle? Yeah, he has mangoes. If I were Bristle, I would have killed that big camp, because I'd use, like, 2 quills to stack those up. But he's just a little inefficient, but that's okay. So you actually have the camp again, but this is why. This is why it's good to do exactly what you did, is because your Slark has more creeps, and then he's more out-leveling them, and then I'm telling you this for you and everyone else to make sure you understand, and then you can just pull again at 15 seconds. In the earlier one, when you debated pulling at 145, it's not always bad. Like, you can still do it. But I would even consider stack single pulling just because I'm a dazzle, and I have a way to clear the wave. I have a weird way to clear the camp. I can just heal bomb me in the wave and do a lot of damage. But, like, certain supports can't clear a stack, so I wouldn't stack pull it because I can't clear it. But because I'm a dazzle that can actually clear the stack, the point of the pull is that you're getting XP for yourself and gold while you're giving him solo XP, right? So if you can't clear a stack, please do not stack it. Like, you know what I mean?
I remember that. That's cool.
Yeah. A lot of times supports think they're doing it to deny XP to the enemy. What you're actually doing is giving solo XP to your carry and then getting some XP for yourself.
Can I ask you, like, can you pause for 1 second?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you need to. So just with a double pull, because how do I say this? Like, normally I would single pull, and I understand what you're saying. Like, first of all, like, pull at 15 seconds, and you can clear a camp. It resets at, the minute mark, and then you can pull again, type of thing. But regardless of that, like, when is it ideal to double pull? Because when I think of pulling, like, I'll pull the lane. Like, normally I do only single pull, but lately I've been, like, trying to chuck in some double pulls just to cancel, like, to fully deny all their creeps. But for probably blabbered on a bit there, but like ideally, I'm asking like when is it ideal to double pull?
So why did I say I didn't really like the double pull there?
Um, what did you say? You said like the bristleback can come over and take it, and
Exactly. So when do you
yeah.
think it's good to pull it
But
to the big camp?
just say ideally in maybe not this match, but just I'm just saying
I'm saying, like,
overall.
ask yourself, if I pull this, can I, like, farm it? Is this good for us? Like, do I want
Yeah.
them to be right here? Right?
Yeah.
Like, there's really no simpler answer. Like, I want you to pull this camp when it benefits you to be contesting the guy right here. So, like, what I said was, it's okay to, like, double pull if your Slark's level 5 and just walk past this and then take this farm and effectively deny it, right? But in the early levels, your Slark was only level 2, so he's like stuck under tower tanking creeps, and it's just you versus the Bristle. And the Bristle's effectively potentially getting half of an XP from the big camp and a creep wave.
So I guess the reason why I ask is because sometimes, for example, I'll do a so say the lane is pushed out like a bit further than it is right now when we're looking at it. And I'll single pull, and then sometimes like and the enemy creep wave will push under the tower.
Yeah.
Right, and then the carrier will say to me, he's like, oh, like like you should have. Sorry. I double pull, right, and that allows their creep wave to go right under the tower, and then he gets upset and says, you should have just single pulled because now the creeps are under the tower and they're pushing me under the tower. So he just wants a single pull so it can balance. But in my mind, I'm like, now we're going to have a double wave, and that's just going to, like, yeah, you'll be fine for this first wave, but now it's going to be doubly pushing all the way through.
Okay, so
like,
no, you have a good point. You're fine. That's actually a good question. So, like, the way I look at it is, and this is something you just have to think about. You can watch other players to really get this down. Is when you pull the camps. So it's kind of funny because for me, I feel like playing support now is like super fucking easy if I can play the hero because I've learned that all that matters is understanding creep equilibrium and understanding what each pull does to the creep equilibrium, and then understanding where my carry wants it. So like 90% of understanding of when to pull is knowing what your carry hero wants. Because like some heroes want it under tower, some heroes want it right here, some heroes don't mind if it's right here. Some hero, like it's different based on your carry hero, and it's also different based on the carry hero versus the offlaner. You know what I mean? Like it's different every game. And so, like, as a support, the most important understanding is, like, where you want the lane to be. And that's usually stems from your carry. So, like, the best way I can explain this is if the lane's out here, like you're saying, and you single pull it, generally speaking, if you can single pull it such that your creep wave finishes and then gets back to here, that's actually better because you're effectively resetting the wave to be right here.
But what I think is once it hits where you're pointing at now, then it'll like the next creep wave will meet them before they're dead. So then it becomes like a stronger push through.
Well, no, here's how it works though, right? If the lane's out here, okay, this is how I like to think about the lane. If the lane's right here and nobody in either side touches the lane, what happens to the creep wave equilibrium?
It's exactly there.
Does it stay there forever?
Like if no one hit anything.
If literally no one on either team interacts with the creep wave, does it stay there forever? No, it doesn't. Why? Anything you can think of, or no?
No.
No. So what happens is their creep wave, the next one, get the creeps don't kill themselves fast enough. So the next one gets there and then pushes the wave towards you. So they'll have 2 range creeps, and then it just snowballs. So wherever the creep wave default meets, like mean every patch it changes, like they adjust it a little bit, like it used to meet here by default. And now it meets here by default. I actually think this makes solo safe laning from the offlaner's perspective. Like that's why the meta's this way, by the way. People ask like why the meta's an aggro tri-lane with the lane meeting right here. It's because solo offlaners in the safe lane benefit from the lane meeting right here naturally. But okay, so if the lane's if the lane naturally meets right here, if it's right here, then it's going to naturally push. If it's right here, it's going to naturally go this way. So the point is, if the lane's out here and you guys do nothing, then it's going to push towards you. So if the lane's out here, it's naturally going to be pushing towards you all the time. Like, it's just naturally going to do that. So if you single pull the wave and just make it so your next wave gets there later, you're effectively making it so it pushes against you a little bit harder. Do you see what I'm saying? Because you're delaying your next wave. So if you can make it so that the lane's right here, and you can just delay your next wave such that this wave meets it here, it's like perfect, generally speaking. Because the way I look at it is, you want the lane to be right here if you're willing to contest them. You want the lane to be under tower if you have no desire to contest them.
I fully hear you. I think what I was saying, which I probably didn't explain
Yeah,
properly,
go ahead.
is if I single pull and I'm last hitting the natural creeps and I can't deny the our creeps, you know what I mean, and they'll leave the natural camp and rejoin in and meet where Slark is at the moment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm following you.
Yeah, because like they would meet there and stop the next wave, but then what I mean is like our whole next wave will come in, won't it? Like
No.
and make no really
No, because oh man,
yeah.
I'm trying to think of the best way to explain this to you. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess the best way to put it is like, if this creep wave kills yours with 2 creeps left, like meaning their enemy wave has 2 creeps left, then what you're saying is true.
Yeah.
But if theirs kills yours with like 3 or 4 creeps left, then by single pulling, you're effectively just resetting the lane because you have 4 creeps and there's 4 creeps here. So like that's understanding
and
like
meet and cancel, and then the next ones will meet, and then
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically though is I like heroes like Dazzle because they can influence how fast they want to kill the pull camp. Because basically though, you can even like if you're playing party queue with your friends, you can ask them, do you want the lane here? Do you want to be under tower? Do you want the lane here? Where do you want it? And then you can choose how quickly to push the camp, or sorry, kill the camp, or whether you want to pull it all based on that, right? That understanding. And the reason why pulling in this lane is good is because Slark against Bristle, Slark has low base armor, so he doesn't want to contest Bristle in the early levels. But the minute he's ahead of Bristle, Bristle can't really lane anymore because he just kills him. So the way to win this lane is by giving Slark an XP advantage and then snowballing off of his XP advantage. So like to explain to you as well as Chad, like why pulling early on, pulling like dodges fights, right? Because you're just like leaving your carry alone to get solo XP and you're just kind of doing your thing over here. If you're laning, then you're like fighting them. That's like the only real way to play it. So if you're pulling, you're kind of saying, I would rather not fight them right now, get a XP gold advantage. And then fight them later. So when it comes to like chain pulling or not, it's twofold. One, where the lane's going to be because of it and where you want it to be, because you're obviously making it so you're pretty much removing this creep wave entirely.
Yeah.
And the other option is, the other thing to consider is whether or not they can contest this and if that's good for you or bad for you. So like generally speaking, it's better to chain pull when you're already at the advantage or in a lane where you have no desire to contest them. Like literally you can't fight them, whatever the lane is. You ask yourself 2v2, we cannot fight them. And if you single pull this camp, it'll get to doing what you're saying, where it'll be 4 creeps against 2 and then the lane's going to push out.
Yeah, nice.
Because in that scenario, then one scenario, you're so strong that you don't mind them being over here. And the other scenario, you're so weak that you'd rather them be over here getting a big camp than contesting you over here.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So anywhere in the middle, it's not really good to pull this camp.
Yeah, cool.
Cool.
I hear you.
Yeah, you're a little static on your mic, but it's fine.
Sorry, I keep trying to adjust it.
Yeah, no, it's all just letting you know that it's there. But yeah, you've got an XP advantage on your Slark. He's got regen items flying out. Hey, XP advantage. Kill. Cool. Cool. That worked out. I assume your Slark has regen being ferried to him. Oh, he didn't fly himself anything. Well, he's just bad then. That's not your fault. Oh, you have a salve for him. Dope.
Yeah.
Give him that salve. Nice. Okay.
I was just trying to get him to come back.
Yeah,
to the
no,
like,
I was gonna say you need to worry about bounty runes, but you were so focused on Slark that I'm not really concerned. I think that was definitely an overreaction. I think you could stick and because you have a stick and a salve, I think you can and a shrine.
I think once I TP'd, I was like, oh, I had 5 charges.
Yeah, once you TP, it's like you're committed, but definitely a bit of an overreaction. I don't mind your like snap decision there.
Yeah.
So your Slark just refuses to buy regen. So how quickly do you need to return to lane?
Like straight away.
Okay. So you're fine to go ward. It's just really important whenever like the rule is to be in your lane. The exception is can I afford to leave my lane for a bit, and how long? So like yesterday, I played Battle Cup. If you watch those games back, I was yelling at my support player who's like never really played support.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you can't leave. Like, this is what the lane looks like when you're here, and this is what it looks like when you're not here. Yeah. So just know that whenever you leave the lane, deeply consider how your carry is affected by that. Yeah. Like, sometimes you being in lane, you're just a useless piece of shit, okay?
Yeah.
So if you're going to go top and you're a useless piece of shit, what's the only thing you're doing?
If I go top and I'm just soaking XP, making it...
But I'm saying, like, what is the only option for you to do up there? That is actually not being detrimental to your carry.
Like, pulling.
Yeah, pulling. That's it. So if you go there and there's no pull camp and you know you're useless, are you staying there?
No.
No, right? That's like, I'd say that's the biggest fault of 6K support players. Like, it's insane how many times they just show up to my lane with no pull camp and they're useless and they sit there. I'm like, how can you be 6K? I don't care if you're a core player. You, as a core player, you want a support sitting behind you doing nothing? Are you kidding? So it's like...
So you're telling me I'm 6K.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like, this happens all the way up to 6K, so if you can get this shit out now, it'll be, you know, great.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
So,
I was telling him, by the way, I was like, if you can play passive for a second and I'm warding, I'm bringing a health pot. I knew I had to get back.
I'll be honest with you. Your supporting is above 1.8. I don't know if you just don't play very often or what, but, like, your overall support mechanics are definitely better than 1.8K. I have to feel like Chad agrees with me on that one, so I'm just letting you know. I'm just going to keep focusing on fundamentals, but if you just play, you should slowly but surely gain MMR. Obviously, supporting, you don't as reliably gain MMR, but...
Yeah.
Okay, so... You're also asking me, like, pretty advanced questions. Like, you're not... So your Slark's just a potato, that's fine.
Yeah.
So you go push the lane and pull. That's exactly what I thought you should do. That's good. This is perfect. I mean, this is better than my supports. What the fuck? I'm not even, like, you know, I'm kind of trolling, but at the same time, like, what? Like, that was actually correct. So I'm not going to tell you what to do if you're doing it right, so we're going to keep worrying about this. You definitely want to keep occupying the Slark's lane in terms of, like, you do help him by being here. You want to be in the lane itself as little as possible because he wants solo XP, which is kind of what you're doing, so that's good. But you guys can actually make plays, and he gets pressured if you're not here, so that's why you're supposed to be here. This is good. This is very good. Now we need items. Bounty runes. Okay, let's see what items you buy. Okay, I think boots are by far more important than anything else, and you actually had money to buy them. So I definitely would have gone boots.
Yeah, that's good to know. I just think his speed's, like, pretty decent for, like, you know, anyone, like, naturally.
Say it again? Like, what part?
No, I'm not disagreeing. I'm like, fully here. I'm just looking at
the item I look at comparing to boots is the Blightstone is the problem or the item I have a problem with, by the way. All the wards and like mangoes and shit, that's fine. Just like when you have 800 gold, it should be boots and then how much else can I afford? That's like what your thought process should be on most supports.
Yeah.
So this is a good pull again. So this is a situation that I have a problem with a bit. So in this game, what kind of hero is Dazzle? Is he like a more proactive hero or a reactive hero?
Proactive.
I'd say he can be a little bit of either, but he's more of a reactive hero, is what I would say. Meaning, like, he counterplays what the opponent's doing rather than, like, making plays himself. He's better at, like, turning ganks than he is at creating them. Like, when you guys got kills top, that started with the opponent overextending, right? And then you counterplaying it. So, with that being said, as a support, if you're playing flawlessly in this game, what should you be? You should be top. I think that's correct.
I guess you're saying if I ever see them pushing or ganking, I should be TPing.
You should be ready to TP is what I'm getting at here. So you sitting with 46 mana and a mango is not allowed. Is like what I'm trying to say. So you have no TP, you have no mana, so that either needs to get fixed now or you had to have flown yourself items such that you have that stuff. That's the main emphasis is like, what am I supposed to be doing in the game? Make sure I'm always ready to do it as often as possible. And if you know what you're supposed to be doing, and there's just sometimes, it just happens, even at my bracket, where whatever happens in the game that you can't be there, meaning like, say you know you're supposed to be able to TP mid or whatever, you tell your team, I can't TP mid. So like, that's the communication that should be happening is your goal is to do it as often as possible. And if you know what that is, it's very easy to communicate, I can't
Yeah.
do that at this given moment. So just really
Yeah.
important to think about as a support. Like, I just see you go pull with no mana, and it just makes me a little sad.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't mind the stack, and then you
tips.
pull. Yeah, so this is fine. I just see this action going on mid, and I don't know if you need to be there, but I know you should be able to be there. Is how I'm looking at this. So.
Yeah, fully.
But I'd say what you're doing is overall correct in the staticness of it, meaning like if you're doing nothing, it's correct that you're doing nothing top, nothing to do bottom, right? They already took the tower. You're enabling your Slark, but now you've made him independent and you left. This is all good. I would just like to see boots and mana. That's the only difference I'm having here.
Yeah.
It's better to take brief amounts of inefficiency to go get mana so that you can be efficient past that, rather than accepting mediocrity for a period of like 2 minutes. You know what I mean? You want it to be power spikes, be very strong and then very weak, or like no consistency of like medium. You know, that's not what we want. Okay, so now you find yourself with no boots because you're a support with no farm, and you bought this 300 gold item.
Yeah.
Itemization on supports is like even more important than carries because you don't get very much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like my one item for the game.
Yeah. So I definitely would recommend having a smoke on you, and I would recommend, I think wards are good right now, surprisingly, even though you had 3 wards in your inventory. I think this is a situation where let's check our course, because this is what you need to think. He has no blink yet. He's going Echo Saber, odd. But I would say what core are you making plays around?
Axe.
Okay, cool. No. Axe has no blink. What core are we making plays around?
Well, Kunkka.
Kunkka, right? Yeah. And you are doing that. That's why I was like ready to agree with you, because that's what you were doing. But always be thinking about when you're a hero that doesn't do stuff itself, like what hero you can make be better at doing stuff. And right now that's Kunkka. And like when Axe gets blinked, that'll change.
Yeah.
And you are doing that right now. So you are definitely way too panicky with your TPs.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, like bait it a bit longer. You're not dying like that instantly. They don't really have burst damage. Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna get
Slark somehow died. What the fuck?
stacks on me from Bristle.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, just your thought is okay, so I don't want to harp on it too much. You're just being a little overreactive here. So definitely you're noticing the effect of buying this. What's up?
Get overzealous on the shallow grave.
I mean, nothing can be worse than the guy shallow graving me in my Battle Cup games last night. So you're doing fine. He's like 7K too. He's ranked like 60 at A, and he's a core player, and he's shallow graving me 10 seconds before I'm dead. So it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So with a lot of fights going on mid, I feel like one sentry I'm not content with. I feel like I would like to have another sentry. Like I would like to secure this area. So the idea behind securing this area right now is, oddly enough, Slark is a hero that went ahead. Where does Slark want to play if he's ahead?
In their jungle.
No, he actually wants to play his own safe lane. Why? Can you think of any reason?
Like at this point.
Just when it's Slark's ahead for as long as he can, why does he want to play his own safe lane rather than playing here? Why do most carries not want to play here? Like, why does a Drow not want to sit in her safe lane at 15 minutes?
I don't know. At 15 minutes.
Why do we call it the dead lane?
Like with that tower there.
Why do we call this the dead lane?
The dead lane because like that no one can TP to you and
it's dangerous.
Dangerous.
Yeah. So why does Slark in general, if ahead, want to play this side of the map?
Because he can escape.
Yeah, because he's survivable. And single-handedly, he can occupy the most dangerous part of the map. So when he's ahead, if he's strong enough to play the dangerous parts of the map, he should do that.
Yeah.
Because
cool.
Slark doesn't really want to take objectives. He just wants nothing to happen while he hits creeps, right?
Okay, cool.
So his goal is to stop the opponent from getting objectives, right? That's like what he would rather do if he can. So he's going to apply his strength by stopping them from taking this area. That's actually what Slark wants to do. Probably in your bracket, all the carries do this, but this is actually correct that Slark wants to do this. Okay, so the idea is I would rather your wards actually be here than down here. I don't mind having one ward here, but I'd rather have majority of my wards be here for that reason. So I want to control, like, whatever it means when it comes down to the dead lane. Your choices are mid and one other lane when you're winning. your control of the map as mid and one other lane. So it can either be top or bottom. Usually it's bottom, but because of what I said, this is an exception where Slark likes to play this area. So when I said this Sentry mid, just remember that your wards when you're ahead need to control one half of the map. Okay? Like, meaning mid plus a side lane when you're ahead like this. So, like, if I'm in mid and we're controlling mid and top, I would want to make sure this whole area is dewarded and warded.
Yeah, cool.
So since all the fights are going on mid, I would make sure I sentry this area. If fights were going on top, I would sentry this area. You see what I'm...
Yeah.
See how I got to that conclusion? So it's just something to think about. Every game, when you're ahead, you're going to want to control 2 areas. When you're behind, you want to control 1 area. Like, you cannot give away control of that 1 area, because that's all you got. Because if the opponent's ahead and they're controlling 2 areas, then you want to control 1 area. So in that case, it's a little more difficult. But generally, if you're Radiant, you want to control this area. If you're Dire, you want to control this area. If you're behind. If you're behind. So there are exceptions where the opponent will invade this area and you just take control of this area. But it's based on what the opponent's doing. Generally, they're going to play here, right? So you'd control this area. And generally, if you're there Radiant, they'll play here. So you'll want to control this area. But like I said, this is an exception. So if the opponent's behind like this, most of their wards should actually be here. Because the way you guys want to play, right? Also, they'd be stupid to ward here. Why?
I don't know.
This hero?
Slark? Yeah.
What does that hero do? Why would they not want to ward here?
He can detect it with
he literally just knows they warded there, right? He just sees the ward. So, if I'm a support against Slark, I generally want to ward the side of the map that he's not on. And what happens is, if he's not there, then you kind of pigeonhole him into staying on his side of the map, because the only reason Slark doesn't want to walk through wards is because he sees them, but he knows that the enemy sees him. So it's dangerous for him to walk through wards. So you want to place him where he's not, so he can't go there. That's like how, like, as a Slark player, I view it. So the point is, when it comes to warding and like how you help the lane and all these things, who was I talking about? Was I asking about your hero?
With what?
Like, when I asked you where to ward and how to play the lane, how many times did I ask you about Dazzle?
Not many.
What did I ask you about? I talked about the Slark, I talked about the Axe, the Kunkka, right? That's how you have to think about it as a support player. You can think at a basic level, what does my hero do? Oh, he's a reactive hero? Okay. And then, like, oh, I'm able to help them be active, but I don't really set up ganks? Okay. Like, who do I help be active? You know? That's the only real questions you ask about yourself. So I like where you're playing right now. It's just a matter of, the ward problem is what I brought to your attention. I would also have a smoke on you at all times, because you do have heroes that can make plays. Obviously a little unfortunate on the grave there. And this is all happening because they have a ward, by the way. Like, it just makes it possible for them to make plays here, because they have vision. Not saying it wouldn't happen 100% if they didn't have vision. It's just more likely to go incorrectly if they have vision. Okay, so we're still here. Still no boots, sadly. Feels bad, man. Little late on the sentry, but better late than never. I mean, you warded sentry more than my supports, that's for sure. Okay, let's see here. So far so good with the rest of this. I'm harping on pretty specific things, actually, because you're not really doing much wrong, other than, like, like, I'm not going to harp anymore on these, like, panic TP graves, because that could be worse.
No, I liked what you said about the, dominating 2 lanes and leaving one. That was good.
Yeah, because that's, like, the point is, if you weren't in the right place at the right time, I couldn't even tell you that. But now that you're actually playing in the right place, now it's a matter of doing the right thing while you're in the right place. So, like, some people, when I coach them, I can't even tell them about that kind of stuff because they're not here in the first place. I have to tell them, go there, get there in the first place. Yeah. So you are definitely, like, I'm saying this nicely, you are playing above 1.8k, but the point is, if you keep doing this and be consistent about this, we can get better at this. So you have 1100 gold, pretty unacceptable. I'd say your itemization overall is the main problem. You can be way more impactful with your items. Like, the fact that you don't have boots here is hilarious. Like, you're having a really good game, and meaning your team's ahead, you have pretty decent K to D for a Dazzle, and you guys just have no wards. Or sorry, no, you have no boots. So my big deal here is
I didn't water it at the start.
I'm gonna rewind here. I
I
always
thought
just let
after that,
play.
I was
I,
like,
I let
I
things
should have
happen.
watered
I
the
kind of
top
see what
early.
I think I should see, and then I let things happen. So, are you ever going top? Why or why not?
Um, I think no. I
Why?
think I could.
If you go top,
Well,
why?
well, because I'm a position 5, and like you said, it's a dead lane. I mean, in this situation, because you're saying Slark can be there. See, I didn't think like that. Normally, I think we wouldn't send the carry up there. Me or the position 4 will go there because I
Okay,
can clear waves and I can push it out, and it doesn't really matter if I die while the others can fight
that's
down
true.
the bottom. But being Dazzle as well, I think it's good to having me in the fight with the shallow grave and what I do. So
So, based on items, I'll at
maybe
this point, what I'm gonna do is it's
yeah,
1910. What's the next objective on the map for us?
bounties.
Okay,
I think.
bounties. Cool. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go off of what I already said about Slark because I know in this game you obviously didn't know it at the time, but we're gonna look at Slark,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Does he want to move around the map yet?
In what way? Like ganking
Like, does he
Rice?
want to leave top yet? Based on this,
Well, no, because he doesn't have
right?
items.
This is when he wants to leave
Shadow
top.
Blade. Yeah.
So I'm not going top because that's effectively taking Slark's farm. If he's not there, so be it. Like, it's just not my problem. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's his job to relieve pressure up top because he demoted himself to that, which is fine. Usually I go Blink Midas or Midas Blink because I like the same thing in terms of concept, but I don't like this. I don't like Shadow Blade's trash. Whatever. We're not going to go into detail on that. You're a support player. Okay, so basically so he does go top. He's just late with it, which is fine. So we want bounties. So what can help us get bottom bounties?
Bottom bounties. I know wards, smokes.
I would say having the lanes be right here would be really helpful.
Oh yeah, pushing the lanes. Yeah.
So when you see your carries doing this and you're just walking into a dark space, what would I rather you be doing? I'd rather you be
Pushing
clearing
the lane
this,
out.
right? By the time 20 minutes comes out. You want this lane to be right here. Because then suddenly you may scout somebody right here. Instead, is this safe? When is this safe to do what you're doing here?
I don't know if we see lots of people top. I guess.
How about when this lane's at their tier 2?
Yep. Yep.
It's all about lanes. Like, your safety as a support is based on where the lanes are.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, if you see everyone top, that's fine. Like, you're safe to go there. And that's something you can make use of. But if you don't see them, you have to just get the lanes out. And the reason why I like playing supports that clear lanes is because your carries don't always do it for you. But I actually think in this specific situation, because you have two heroes that are like hunting together, you have an Undying that doesn't actually push waves, and then you have a Kunkka that's looking to make plays, it's actually good that you push this wave. Because your Axe is still farming off map, which, I mean, he shouldn't really be because he has a blink. I don't know if he's blinking from base. But, and your Kunkka's looking for kills. So it's actually best that you push waves. Because in this case, once your Slark has Shadow Blade, once your Axe has blink, who on your team shows in lanes?
On our team.
Yeah.
Kunkka and Undying and Kunkka.
Yeah, I mean, does Undying clear waves, though?
No.
No. So who should be the two heroes if they're showing on lanes ever? If ideally in a good scenario, who should be showing lanes?
Kunkka and Axe. Oh, Kunkka and Slark.
You have a Slark with a Shadow Blade and Axe with a blink. Who shows lanes?
Including me.
Yeah, you're in the equation. There's 5 heroes on your team.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about the other people.
Yeah, sorry, no. Now the thing about position 5 is if I'm position 1 and I'm a hero that wants to show in lanes, who else do I have to think about? Like, if I'm a position 1 and I want to play the game a specific way, like I want to play off map or I want to play on map, who else do I have to consider on my team?
On my team?
Nobody. I play where the fuck I want to because I'm position 1.
Righto.
You see what I'm saying? But my point of getting to where you're playing on the map is based on the other 4 heroes on your team. Meaning you tick down the list of who plays what, and then that establishes what your hero does. You see how I get to your job in the game? So Slark, once he gets Shadow Blade, plays off map. I told you you're not going top because Slark wants to play there. Axe, once he gets Blink, plays off map. Undying, doesn't clear waves. Kunkka, yeah, he can clear waves. But other than that, it's me and Kunkka. So if you're not clearing waves, guess what the waves look like?
Where they are.
Yeah, they look like this, and they look like that. Right?
Yeah.
So as a support player, there are games where you're supposed to clear waves. Okay, there are games, and the problem is if you're a support like Undying, and your other support's you, that's not doing anything to clear waves, because it's never Undying's job to clear waves, right? What Undying can do is he can be the guy that like soaks the dangerous farm in the dead lane at like 6 minutes and relentlessly feeds while the rest of his team, runs around doing stuff. But that's not clearing waves. That's like defending a tower. That's like way different. So yeah, what you already clearly understood that idea though, because you mentioned it and have watched my stuff. But the point is, like I said, when you're 5, consider what everyone else wants and then make your decision. And sometimes ideally you want to do it based off what they should be doing, but in the end of the day, you'll have to be doing it based off what they are doing, because you're in a low MMR bracket where people are not going to be doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Which is what I was going to say, which I fully get what you're saying, and I'll remember that from now on. But I think, like with me, I'm like, everyone's down there fighting. Like, if I leave them, I'm just
But why do I not like this fight? What does fighting down here accomplish? If you win the fight, why do you fight here?
Because we still can't push the tower.
Yeah, but the point is you fight down here to push the tower, right?
Exactly.
So that's correct. And the reason that you pushing lanes is so important, and you saying you like wanted to show up to this fight, which I get, but this lane has to be pushed first, right? So that's why I tell you to consider lane pushing first as a support, because nothing's more important from any role than pushing lanes properly. So as the carry and the mid laner, it's their job to recognize what lanes they're supposed to be at. As your job as support, which is even harder, is to recognize what lanes they're supposed to be at, and then what's left for me to do. Some games, it's literally your job to never touch a wave. Like, meaning a good example would be, what if this Slark is a troll who can't really play off map, but meaning like he wants to play aggressive, but he doesn't play off map. So he's a hero that shows in lanes. And against that lineup, a troll would just die, right? If he shows in lanes.
Yeah.
So if you had a troll that wants to show in lanes, say you had the exact same lineup, other than Slark, and you have a troll. Where are you playing?
I'm playing... I don't know where Slark's playing.
You're either with the Kunkka making space for the troll so that he's safe, or you're behind the troll so that he's safe.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying, though? Like, if he's the one clearing waves, then it's your job to make him safe, either by making space or by sitting behind him. Like, that's why you'll see in pro games, like, a support will sit behind somebody, or an offlaner will sit behind somebody, because they know it's that guy's job to push the lane, but they know that guy can't push the lane by himself, by looking at the enemy map. So, like, if you know Slark wants to play top, and you know he's survivable, that's all you need to think about. Like, he's done, don't need to worry about him. I'm going to go play elsewhere, and I'm not going top. But if it's, like, a troll who wants to play bottom, and he can't play bottom without somebody, then you have to ask, is that somebody me? Like, is that me? So that's, like, sometimes where, even though you're not supposed to clear waves, you are supposed to be with the guy that's clearing waves. There's, like, so many times where I'm like, can't my support just be with me? Why does he not know this shit? And it's actually kind of hard. But in my bracket, I feel like they should know, but it's fine. Okay, so fight goes on. I don't mind where the fight's taking place. I just mind how it's being executed. Slark just never shows up, even though he has Shadowblade. That's fine. You're in 2K. That happens. So the good old 21-minute boots. Pog.
Yep.
Okay, so lane gets pushed.
That is a rare thing for me, by the way.
Yeah. Okay, so we are making a counterplay here, which is fine. Slark refuses to ever show up, which is fine. We get that. We get those kind of players in our game sometimes. This fight's good. You're counterplaying them. That was nice. This is a perfect opportunity where their kill heroes are dead. Hurry, ward, get sentries. This is safe. Now's the right time to walk over here and sentry and ward and shit.
Yep.
Nice. Cool. Your team's not pushing it. Why aren't you? You know, somebody has to push that. Like, I look at this and say, guys, we just got kills to to push this. What's everyone doing?
I agree.
You know, just go heal bomb. Like, later on. Like, meaning, it's not your job to originally push this, but now that you see your team's not doing it, just go heal bomb it. You know? Make somebody to show up and push this lane. It's not ideal. You should have been able to take the tower, but that's not in your control. You're not able to control the fact that you're pushing this tower or not. So, definitely make sure that lave does not go unpushed. Now mid lane needs to be pushed. So why do you not know where they are?
What
Okay, I'm actually gonna rewind. I'm not gonna ask. That's not the right question. I'm gonna rewind this, sir. Where are they right now? We see Bristleback
top,
bottom. We
one
see
bottom.
Necro top.
Yep.
Are the kill threats showing?
Who is it? Grim, Bristol. Nah, they're not.
Nyx is their main kill threat, right? And he's not showing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, if we're controlling half of the map right now in 2 lanes, what 2 lanes are we controlling? We're controlling mid and bottom,
The middle
right?
and bottom. Yeah.
So, your 2 choices are to sit behind your teammates that are pushing bottom, or to sit behind your teammates pushing mid, right?
Yeah.
So let's fast forward a bit, or like play it a bit. So your team's about to show bottom. How does that influence you if your team's showing bottom?
I should be near him.
If they show bottom and they see you mid, what's going to happen?
They're gonna come mid.
Okay, so your 2 choices are to be bottom or to be mid more passively.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, make it so that if they see them bottom, they can't punish you for where you are. So if I wanted you to push mid right now, where would I want you to walk?
Like up near the river.
Like this way, right? Rather than this way?
Yeah.
So this is okay, we're going mid, that's fine. Now let's do it correctly and go this way. Because based on the fact that my teammates are showing bottom. This is actually kind of advanced, but quite frankly, you're playing the right part of the map, so I'm going to give you a little bit more of an advanced way of doing things. So you just take an aggressive route when your teammates are showing bottom in a second here. So they show bottom, like they see your Kunkka, guess what? They go on you. Boom. Like, maybe they aren't thinking that hard, but that's why it happens.
Yeah.
So you're Undying TB top. Your Slark's, like, really bad, by the way. Like, I'm just telling you, like, you probably knew that, but, like, he literally just has a Shadow Blade and he hits neutrals, so, like, it's pretty hard for you guys to make up for his lack in this game. But there are still a lot of things you can do. So still playing around your teammates, which is fine. You're making plays on the right part of the map. Okay. Get bounties, cool. Oh, the 3-man call pog. Up center, dust. Oh, nice. Okay, so far so good. So you guys got kills. What's your team gonna do off this? If there's an objective to take, where is it going? Where are you guys going?
Middle or bottom?
Okay,
I'd
so
say middle because it's pushed further.
I'd probably say bottom because that's just like the natural tower your teammates are gonna play around. Slark and other heroes just want to play here, and you also have vision here. So if your teammates go bottom, do they need you right now?
No.
Right? Why? Why don't they need you right now?
Because everyone's dead.
Okay, so when do they need you?
40 seconds. Once everyone's alive.
Okay, so we got 30 seconds as a support to do whatever the fuck we want. That's hype, right? Because that doesn't happen very often. So if your team goes bottom, what should you go bottom? Yeah, I'm snapping, man. I'm excited. So what can this is a luxury moment here. So what can we do if my team goes bottom?
Go ward. Go set up. Looking at it, I would like them to push bottom, and then I'd start warding around mid and the.
I would ward mid and push it, right? Push mid ward right here. Wouldn't that be like exactly what you want? Farm ward pog.
Yep.
If your team walks mid, what can you do? Push bottom.
Go
ward,
push bottom and ward bottom.
Yep. And then you meet up with your team in 30 seconds. That's a whole creep wave for you.
Yeah.
But like after you get a kill, like think, where's my team gonna go? Do they need me? No. Okay. Like in this case, it's very simple that they don't need you, right? But sometimes when 1 or 2 heroes are alive, they still need you. Like depending on the game, right? Just important to think about. Does my team need me with them right now? No? Okay, go somewhere else. Like I want mid lane push right now. This should be pushed in by the time the enemy's alive. Why is that important to push this in?
Just for vision.
If this gets pushed in, what does the enemy team have to do when they're alive?
They have to go to that lane. And
okay, so it enables this and this.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're basically setting up a push bottom by pushing in mid while they're dead.
Yeah.
That's what it's actually doing. So as support, that's great. Like, that's a great thing to be able to do. Now your Slark showing mid instead of you. Where could your Slark be?
He could be bottom.
He could be bottom hunting. He could be off map jungling. If the enemy doesn't see Slark, aren't they scared?
Yeah.
They're scared, right? If they see you mid, does that mean anything to them?
No.
They see a Dazzle? Okay. Dazzle's not bottom. Then, you know, what does that mean? You know? So that's what I mean by information game. You know, that's why it's better that you're pushing lanes in this type of game, because you have heroes that are just so important to not be pushing lanes. And I guarantee you that Slark's only pushing lane because you're not, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, maybe he's bad and still shows up and pushes the lane with you, but that doesn't mean what you did was incorrect. So I would have really liked to see mid lane pushed in, and then you could have grouped up with your Kunkka bottom. Maybe Slark was already bottom. If there's anything you could do that your cores are doing instead, it's usually wrong, actually, on both sides. Because if you're strong enough to do something, you should be doing it. Because you're considerably the weakest hero on your team. And when is it safe to walk through mid lane like this?
Yeah, never. Like, unless I can see him bottom or
No,
something.
it's safe when the tower's pushed. Main thing is bottom. If the wave's right here, you're probably safe to do this kind of shit.
Yeah.
But the wave's back here, and then you just walk in like a Rambo. Earlier, the wave was right here, and you walked in and died, right? Like, same thing. Wherever the waves are dictates where you're safe to be. And you're not having that state of mind, or like, you know what I mean? You're not in the right thought process here. You're just walking up, don't know where they are, because the wave's not pushed in. It's like if one of those heroes is forced to show underneath their tier 2, suddenly that's safe. You know what I mean? Okay, so we got 1,200 gold. What item are we thinking here? Why? What item?
I don't know, just something to help the team. I think I checked Undying had a mech. I think someone had a pipe, so I was not going to get that. I think I
You're
ended up
5
getting...
though, so you could probably go a cheaper item than all of this. I would honestly say an urn, because you'd build into a spirit vessel. It's like a nice build up, and they have Sven, Bristle, Necro, all of which kind of get fucked by a spirit vessel if you eventually get there. So like, I would have had an urn already. I would have probably gone urn over mana boots, potentially. Wait, does my Undying have mana boots? Yes. If my Undying had mana boots, I wouldn't get them, because you don't need 2 pairs. 1 pair would be nice. So you do have mana hungry cores, so like, I think 1 pair of mana boots is good. But if I look and see my Undying has mana boots, then I go brown boots, spirit vessel, because spirit vessel is not nearly as good of an item anymore, but it's mainly an aggressive item. That's like, it's not as good defensively. It doesn't heal nearly as much. But they have Necro Bristle cores, so I think that kind of dictates spirit vessel to be pretty good. So when your cores are dead, you know, all you can really do is play around the other core, which is fine. Push the wave, get a kill, be grim. So this is a spot where really good 5 position players, they kill the guy that kills them, right? This guy kills you. Where do you think you should go now? What do you see? What do you know? Where are they?
I can't see anyone. I can just see Grim.
You see Grim. So you have no idea where the other 3 guys are. So if they show top, what would you want to do?
Push mid.
If they show top or mid, where do you want to push? You want to be pushing bottom, right? So while you have no idea what they're doing, meaning you push this wave and you don't know what they're doing, where should you wait while they haven't shown anything?
Where I am, bottom.
As close as possible to bottom, right?
Yeah.
As close as possible to bottom, meaning like every game it's a little bit different. Sometimes that's like all the way over here. Sometimes it's like all the way in these trees. But you should... Are you jungling?
No.
No, you're hiding in trees near bottom. And that's like based on the game, right? So the point is, like, earlier I had a core that I was teaching, and I said, if you're jungling, where are you jungling? And I said, you're jungling near the lane you would go to if you could go to that lane. So by jungling, you're saying, I'm not allowed to be in any lanes right now, and then I jungle near the lane I want to be at. So as a support, if they're all missing, and you just got to kill, and nothing's happening, meaning you're not trying to get anything done right now, right? Because you have 2 heroes dead? Aren't we just in push-in lanes? We're either in do something mode or deal with lanes mode. That's like the entire game, actually. You're either doing something or you're dealing with lanes. And so if we're dealing with lanes mode because their hero's dead, our heroes are dead, then what lane do we deal with? Okay, sit near it. Like, that's what we should do. So once you clear this wave, you like a really good top-tier support player, you see it if you watch pro games, would be sitting right here. And like ready to nuke the next wave. They'll be waiting because there's nothing better to do. You're just gonna be waiting anyway, right? You're literally just gonna be sitting here. Like, if you really think to yourself, what do you benefit from being over here compared to sitting in the trees right here? And then the minute you see this, boom, heal bomb, right? Like, the minute you see this shit, what you can literally do when you see that is, if you're pushing bottom, you can literally heal bomb this, and then what's your choice when you see shit going on top?
TP top. Yeah,
your choice is to continue pushing bottom or TP. Really simple decision. Right? In this case, you just did nothing, meaning you literally just sat bottom. But like, if
I
you're pushing,
de-warded.
okay, fine. You de-warded. Sorry. Not trying to take away from you here. The point is, like, when I'm a carry and I'm like, if the enemy team groups up and does something, I want to push a lane immediately. So that if I'm always doing that, my only choice is, do I continue pushing this lane or do I show up?
Yeah.
So if you're doing that as a support,
stuff.
it makes your decision very easy. Like, I'm gonna heal bomb this wave, and are you heal bombing this wave and being there in order to farm?
No, just to
push the wave. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing, right? So it applies to cores too, but even more so supports. Like, they're just doing it to push the wave. Yep. So really important as a 5, if you ever see opportunities to create pressure or relieve it, like you talked about early on, you're willing to be in the dangerous farm and just feed because you're relieving pressure. Why not create pressure when you're capable of it, right?
Yeah.
Very, very powerful thing. So you should be flying yourself items. Definitely be focusing more on items. Items are on supports. I can tell you when I play support, 99% of the time, I can dictate what items I want at the start of the game just by looking at both teams.
Yeah.
Like, I can kind of ask myself, if I get enough gold, maybe I'll have these 2 or 3 choices max. Like, that's all you really got usually is 2 or 3 choices. So I'll have those items queued up in my quick buy. Every time I buy an item, what should go in my quick buy?
Like wards and smokes.
The next item.
And whatever item.
Whatever the next item is. Like, whether that's wards, like if it's like if your next item is wards plus an urn, then you should have wards and an urn. Like, I tell carries, like, their next item should always be in their quick buy. I think it's the same thing with supports. You know why it's in your quick buy? You know what happens when it's in your quick buy?
If you almost die, you can spam.
Well, no. You know what happens when it's in your quick buy? Is when you get enough gold for it, the game goes ding, and you're like, oh, thanks for the reminder. Guess what? I forget to buy items if I don't have them in my quick buy. I actually forget.
Yeah, righto.
I forget to buy items. Like, it's
I didn't know they put a little alert up.
Yeah, like, here, I'll show you. Actually, you can just look it up yourself.
Hey, how much time we got left?
1 minute.
Ah, okay.
Nah, I'm kidding with you. We got a little bit of time left. Is there something in particular you want me to look at?
I just thought maybe I might get you if we got enough time just to maybe look at one more laning phase.
Absolutely, let's go.
I'm really cool. I'm really interested in the laning phases, especially. Like, the rest is cool, but at the moment that's where I'm focused.
Yeah, just by the way, the quick buy thing is the main thing is you're not gonna forget to buy items if they're there. That's the main emphasis.
Yeah. So I'll just grab any replay, maybe a different hero would be cool.
I used to play carry and feed, then I spammed support and climbed like more than 500 MMR, and now I can feed as a carry at higher MMR. There you go.
Is that in the chat?
That's somebody in chat, yeah.
Oops.
By the way, as somebody who's supporting, like, it's not a bad idea if you feel confused about what to do in a game to play a carry that you felt confused about, because like I said, most of your knowledge is based on how the cores want to play. So sometimes, like, don't be afraid to play 20% of your games as a core, even if you play terribly. Like, it's good practice to occasionally play core. Especially cores that you feel like, what you can do is you can just, like, say you play 20% of your games as a carry, just play Slark every game, and then you'll learn quickly, this is what Slark wants to do, this is, like, what hurts him, this was why the game was hard.
Yeah, this is his weakness.
Yeah, exactly. You'll learn
I've just started doing that, because I've never played cores, but I have just started doing it, and it is the biggest advantage.
And there's a lot of skills from core that actually translate over to support that I actually think are much easier to do on support if you've played core, like CSing and, like, maintaining map awareness while you're farming, because on support you don't farm very often, but when you do, it's good practice to, like, still have map awareness while farming, right? So it's something that it's way harder to do as a carry. Go ahead.
I'm Oracle in this one.
Oh, I just saw Dazzle and immediately assumed Dazzle. My bad. My bad. Okay. Does that purge devour? No, it doesn't. I was like, I didn't think so, but okay, so did they deward you?
No. I think I gave him. I can't remember. You'll have to have a look.
I was looking at Dazzle the whole time.
2 games ago. I doubt
okay,
it.
It looks like you just gave a ward to your teammates rather than having one yourself. I'd say a ward down here is kind of important just because of Pudge. You have, like, 2 heroes that are kind of fragile to getting hooked. So that's why I was concerned about it. Something to think about. It's not terrible, but like, I don't think you can really face check where the Pudge is.
Yeah.
So it's like it'd be nice for the Medusa to know where Pudge is. If you had like a Slark, it's not nearly as big of a deal, but Medusa's like pretty fragile to that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Okay, so I think it's good you're sitting here. I don't really like leaving Medusa solo, like you do with Slark. Okay, so Medusa's under tower. The lane's pushing now, right? So it's really important that your Medusa does not have to walk up and farm, right? So the only way to fix this is by letting these creeps act like this wave and single pulling.
Yeah.
And then guess what? Should you chain pull or not? Based on what you're seeing here and the hero you have.
No.
Why not? If you single pull, isn't it just gonna have these 4 creeps come back and then kill, like push the wave forward?
Oh, yeah.
So isn't it better to completely remove this wave from the equation? Because can your Medusa farm when the wave's here?
No.
No, because of Pudge, right? So it's better to completely remove this wave from the equation and let the wave push into her tower, right?
Yeah.
Boom. Like, that's how you think about it. Where does my carry want it?
Yep.
How do I get it there? Based on the creeps. So that's the thought process that you should go through as a support. And every time you should be updating yourself, creep equilibrium. I feel like pulling is so fucking easy now that I know equilibrium as a carry player, and I just know what the carry player wants. The minute I see it go under tower, literally the second your Medusa aggroes it under tower, you should know you're pulling the next wave. Yeah. Like, that's how your brain should work, like in an ideal world. So you're going to be a bit late. Looks like you're going to go stack. This is the next best thing, is the stack pull, but you're still missing the pull now. Notice how she doesn't want the lane here, though, right? She doesn't feel good about it.
No,
this isn't good. This isn't where we want it. So now you're pulling, which is late, and your Medusa got bullied under her own tower, and now she's with you. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? How this all happened? All predictable, all preventable.
Yeah, just off that.
This is what you wanted. You want the Doom and Pudge over here.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, do you have any desire? Like in our other game, I said the decision between pulling or not is: do you want them? Do you want to contest them? Is your carry independent? Where do you want the lane? All these types of things. Your carry in this case is not independent, and the other one, you know, leave Slark alone. He's not gonna die. Okay, so now the whole lane is actually super awkward because of that one missed pull. At the super high level, like, you will lose lanes because of that missed pull.
Yeah.
At your level, it's usually recoverable, but
yeah.
So let's see. Boots! Please put boots in your quick buy, like, first thing of the game. Put boots and a stick in the quick buy. And I'm saying you need to buy boots and stick every single game at any particular point. But when you get the gold, for the love of God, buy those items.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Hurts my
Do you know how to pull all the ways on the big camp? Like, do you know all the little tips and tricks
like
you can do? Like, eat these
tree.
trees and pull it this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So pulling in this lane is super important because you just have a Medusa who can't walk up if the lane's pushed up. So really important to think about here. If the lane's right here, we're cool. If the and we don't want to pull at all because we don't want to fuck with that.
Yeah.
But if the lane's pushed, like, this is a bad pull if you do pull, like, meaning like leave the stack.
Yeah.
But let's see what the lane's doing actually. The lane's actually pushing, so never mind. Pull now.
Yeah.
Pull, 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 pull. Pull, 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 pull. Fuck. Oh, is he getting it? Is he getting it?
I think I missed it. Yeah. You see, I went to auto it and I missed the stupid auto.
Yeah, you did it too late. Like when I was saying pull, 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 you just did it too late. So your Medusa TP'd?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I feel like Medusa probably was like, I'm tired of laning this bottom and my dazzle ain't doing shit, so I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Or sorry, my
I remember
Oracle,
just
my
like,
Oracle.
yeah, I remember just going, is someone gonna come down to this lane?
But it's actually good that he left because of the Doom 6. But you see all the things you did wrong with the pulls, right? And why?
Yeah,
okay, you don't need to clarify anymore then. So this is correct. Your Medusa actually left. Once again, you need to think about how you die. So when you're CSing, like, it's good practice as a carry. You need to always think about that. So then if you play carry and you get used to thinking about dodging punch hooks while you're farming, you'll do it much better as a support. Boots would have also helped you out there. Buy items. Buy a windlace. I would have bought a windlace. I would have bought a windlace here. Why would I buy a windlace? Why would I TP bottom?
Can't walk me down, and Doom can't walk me down.
Yeah, they all have movement speed. Walks at you, walks at you, walks at you, walks at you, walks at you. Windlace, right? Like, that's all they do. They don't have any stuns, so movement speed goes up in value the less stuns they have. And you should be TPing here, right? No hesitation. Why?
Yeah.
Why bottom? Why not play with your team top?
Just because I want someone defending the tower, I guess.
You're level fucking 4. What else are you gonna do?
Soak some
Go
XP.
bottom, right?
Yeah.
So no
I think
hesitation.
I just wanted to carry there. I was like, who the hell's...
There's a level 6 Doom, 7 Doom there. Nobody wants to be there.
Yeah.
So ask yourself, does a carry want to be here? There's a level 7 Doom. No.
Yeah.
If you had TP bottom earlier, the same thing would be happening. You'd have an extra wave. You'd probably be like level 5.5, almost 6 after this wave, and then you're gonna feed. Probably is what would happen. I expect you to kind of feed here. Like if they do it properly, they should kill you, but they're just not. So if you're able to defend your tower solo like this is lovely. This is the dream. You should be doing exactly this while feeding. That's what should be happening. Nice, you are feeding. Cool.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Okay, your team's actually reacting. Good. Okay, this is actually good. Now wrap around. Okay. I don't know why your team's really here. I don't really like this, but your team's doing it, so what you're doing is correct. Your whole team's here. Fuck. Okay. Nothing you control there. I think you did everything fine. You were just late to show up there. How did we know we were defending that tower? Like, how did we know it was our job to defend that tower?
Because everyone else was there.
Nobody else wants to be there. Meaning, like, when you TP'd there. If a fight breaks out around you... Yeah, I'm saying if the fight breaks out around you, whatever. Like, that's your teammates making that call. But, like, meaning, are you... Like, you're supposed to be there because there's a level 7 Doom... Drow can't be there. Medusa can't be there. Ricky doesn't want to be there. So we're there. Right? Last game, how do we know not to go top? Because Slark wants to be top. Right? So it's all about what our cores want from us. Fill in the gaps. That's your job as a position 5. Eliminate everything that everyone else on your team wants to be doing. And then ask yourself, what do I do to finish off the wonderful pie that is proper map distribution? So sitting behind your Medusa, I'd say this is fine. This is an example of your Medusa's defending and she's under threat, so you're helping her out. I think that's fine. Your Drow's just a Papega. I'd say if anybody defends towers at this point in the game, who is it? Who on your team defends towers if anybody's going to defend? At this point in the game, because the enemy's stronger and all that kind of shit. You're not strong enough to defend towers.
I don't know. Medusa can ulti.
It'll be Medusa if with help, or it'll be Grimstroke without help, right?
Yeah.
Both of those heroes do nukes. Okay, this guy just has no whatever. So it's Medusa. So basically, the way that works is, how do I know as an Oracle what tower to sit behind? I can only do one, right?
Yeah.
So I just try to recognize who's a threat. So earlier, whatever lane's pushed in is the one at threat. That's how it works. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is how Dota works here. Rewind, rewind, rewind. Medusa's defending mid. Lane's pushed in. Let's sit behind her. Okay? Now, Medusa nukes out this wave. Right here. Wave is no longer under threat. Run bottom.
Under attack.
Yep.
If anything, you feed instead of Drow.
Yeah, sure.
Like, should you run this way?
Yeah.
No, you should run this way. That's scary. You don't see anybody. We need to get there, but we run this way. Right?
Yeah.
Earlier, I said you don't run this way, you run this way. It's just a matter of you don't see anybody, right? So that's danger zone, and we're walking there to protect our Drow from this.
Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I don't know what he's doing, but he should never do that. But you can do that because, like, tanking ganks as supports can be very useful. Like, your job here is to either help your teammates defend towers or take dangerous areas of the map. That's your two choices. Sit behind somebody on your team that is in danger, or be in danger yourself and minimize feeding while doing so. So the one thing about Oracle is he doesn't really clear waves, so you're sitting mid trying to do this and can't really do anything. No one on your team really clears waves well. No one on your team is like an independent clearer of waves, so that's always a little bit hard to play Dota. It's just like a draft issue, though. Yeah, I would definitely have a win lace this game for all the reasons I mentioned. Mana boots don't really do anything. Drow doesn't need them. Medusa doesn't need them. And Grimstroke already has them, so... I'd say mana boots are a pretty big waste of gold this game in particular. Looks like you like playing supports that are like counterplay heroes. So you guys take a fight mid. You show up now. Okay. So you guys get the kill. And he feeds. This is a weird game, man. I don't like you actually. I think your only job this game is to sit behind your Medusa like at all times. And if he walks like bottom like this, then you can't really do anything about it because he's not like you can't save him, and you're in an awkward spot. Like your Medusa's putting you in a really weird spot right now. So I think what you're doing is okay. So I'm not gonna worry about it.
Yeah, it was a pretty gross game. Like everyone was just raging at the Ricky, like just raging. You know what I mean? And like obviously when that starts happening, you know, like the toxic games. It's just
I will
like,
be very honest. Your draft is terrible.
Yeah.
Like absolutely trash. So like the biggest thing about it is you need in Dota, you need at least one hero that can independently push waves. Meaning they don't need somebody sitting behind them to push waves.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, it's just really awkward to play Dota.
Yeah.
So, like, you're like, I need to push this mid wave, but I need to sit behind my Medusa. But I need to push mid wave. But I need to sit behind, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why it's super awkward, right? So, like, I understand your confusion here. And in these kind of games, you just have to accept that mid lane's not getting pushed, and your job is to just sit behind Medusa. Like, that's actually just your job. And these games get really awkward, but at your level, people are not going to draft properly. And so rather than kind of fishing between two options, just choose one option and stick with it.
Yeah, true.
I'm going to sit behind Medusa all game. Okay, this guy's a fucking idiot. I'm going to sit behind Drow all game. Like, that's how it should... That's how your mind thought process should kind of work here. Obviously not the best positioning, but...
Yeah.
The situation that you're in when you're in these type of games, super awkward to ever push towers. Super awkward to ever split push. So, what's your win condition? If you had to guess, how do you win this game?
I don't know, just Medusa getting massive.
So, how, with
up.
that being said, with Medusa getting massive, how do you end up winning by her getting massive? Like, what does the fight look like?
Just saving her, like you said.
You sit behind her, they go on her, they throw.
Ready for her.
They throw, right? That's how you win. Like, you sit behind her, they throw. That's the only way you win.
Yeah.
So, like, that's how I look at these kind of games, is the map distribution is super awkward. I see you kind of like, don't know where to go. And it makes sense to me
you're right.
that you have
like
that.
In that, like you said, like in these, like in normal-ish games, like that's a good way to think. Because I'm just thinking like, who's about to die, I'll save them. I don't generally save the ulti for a particular person, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but that's it. Yeah, I'm gonna start thinking.
I literally say like, this game feels really fucking hard. If we're gonna win, what's the hero that's gonna win me this game? And then I just sit behind them and hope they carry me. And that's like my best.
Cross your fingers.
Yeah, I mean it's sad, but like if I'm like a carry in a game and I have like a super rough start and I'm in the hands of my offlaner, then I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna win me the game. I guess I'll play on his half of the map and I hope something gets done here. Like, if it's the wrong side of the map, I can't change where he is. Hope something gets done here. Like, I hope we win. That just it happens in any position sometimes. Like some games, you're not the strong hero on your team, and there's like you have to say who is strong and then play with them and hope something goes right. Like that's pretty much the only way to play. It's like when you were Dazzle, like you were ahead, so the decision was easier. Like my Kunkka, my Axe, all these heroes we can make plays around. Ideally, the Kunkka before Axe Blink, but like you just play with that hero that's strong when you're ahead because you want to push your lead. When you're behind, who's the hero that's gonna make me eventually win? And then you play with that guy and just hope for the best. And like if you're a save hero, obviously you're sitting behind the Medusa to save her. If you're a counter initiation hero, you're sitting behind to counter initiate. If you're an initiation hero, you're sitting behind her in order to look for an initiation. It's just like that's what you got to do. So this is a weird game, but I mean that's my best answer. It's like an over-encompassing. Like there's not much else to say. Like this game's super awkward for all the reasons we've already mentioned, and just claw for some way to think that you can win. Sometimes you're gonna be wrong. Like the win condition's something else, but you just have to make an educated guess and stick with it. Like you said, I used to do the same thing where you're like, I don't really know. Like maybe this guy's gonna die. I'm gonna gauge if this guy's gonna die. And it's like rather than like I'm gonna worry about this guy, I'm gonna act like I'm the Dusa. What can we do here? Okay, like if he gets gone on, I'm ready. And just follow him around. So, okay. So that's about it. Any questions you have before we wrap it up?
Nah, man, that's pretty much it. That was
Cool.
sick. That was cool.
Right on, man. I
Really
appreciate
enjoyed
it.
it,
So
dude.
the session will be on YouTube, and if you
Oh,
want to go
awesome.
check it out for review, I'll make sure it's up
Yeah.
by tomorrow. So
I was gonna ask that. That'll
yeah,
be
it'll
cool.
be 1.8K. It'll be 7.20E, 1.8K 5-position coaching. That'll be what the title is. So right on, man. I appreciate it.
Awesome,
and,
dude.
Yeah, have a good one, dude.
You too, dude. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.